Hey guys, this is Bob, and this is another episode of Full Package RC. We welcome you here tonight, myself and Aaron.
What's going on?
And instead of Mike Sobey, who is busy, unable to make it home from work in time to do everything, life kind of gets in the way, we have Mr. John Deo stepping in to help.
Hello, I am Substitute Mike.
There we go. Substitute Mike, as he shall be named. And he also found the soundboard.
That wasn't me.
Wasn't
That
you?
was me.
Oh, okay. Here, I'm
Hyping up
ready.
John.
I'm ready
Gotta
to
hype
just.
the man up.
There we go. I'm ready. Well, no, you got to save it for the next one here. So
Thank you, Aaron.
if you're gonna hype anybody up, you got to save it for this next one. Like maybe get the applause one ready, or do something like that. Because for tonight's guest, before I even go there, so anybody who doesn't know who John Deo is, go back and listen to an old episode. It was our second episode. You can learn all about him, his thoughts, what he does for a living, and all the good stuff. Everything you need to know to stalk him. But for tonight, we have another guest on here who is so gracious to grace us with his presence, and it's the one and the only Rob McClellan.
That is the best intro I've ever heard.
You like that?
Hello, everybody.
I thought they were going to do the after we announced you. I thought we'd get the
the
little golf clap, or something.
Yeah.
We got to do the hype up introductions, not the claps, man. Come on.
Well, whatever. Because we're all like 12 years old playing with the soundboard.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah,
Glad we were able to get you on after the disasters of trying to get it all scheduled and make it work out.
Yeah, hard. Everybody's doing stuff, going all different directions.
I know,
It's
life,
crazy.
it's busy.
Yeah.
That's where I know it's usually pretty hard to get myself, Aaron, and Mike scheduled. And then when we have a guest trying to work that one,
Yep.
we have a couple other guests we're working on who are on different continents, different time zones, and that's being even
that's
trickier
tough.
so we have to try to make that one work, but we'll get there. So at least you're in our time zone. We don't have to worry too much about it.
It's cool. We can get everything done nice and early. Get to bed.
Well, for us, get to bed. For Aaron, it means get to work.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yay.
So the McToon name is known throughout the heli world because you guys are a lot into the helis and everything else. I know you also do jets and some other stuff RC. You dabble a little bit of everywhere, I understand.
A little bit of everything. Not all at one time, but over the course of the years, boats and cars and sailplanes and jets and 3D prop planes, and I still fly trainers. I love it. I'll go down to the field and I'll be like, "Hey, you want to fly my trainer?" I'm like, "Yeah." And we're doing all kinds of touch and goes and everything. It's good practice. Helis have been the staple though for 40 years.
Nice.
Always a heli with me.
Did you say 40 or 4?
40.
40 years. You're that old, huh?
Man.
I'm 58.
Okay, you got me beat.
Yep. So yeah, we started. We started when nobody was flying them. We showed up at the field and everybody's like, "Wow, how's it fly?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't even know how to start it."
Nice.
It's-
I know
Yeah.
we'll go to the field now sometimes, and guys, would talk about fly bar like it's old. But you remember
Yeah,
the days then of mechanical gyros.
Before gyros.
Yeah.
So we flew gyroless.
Okay.
So, yeah. It was
Oof.
mechanical mixing for the acceleration on the tail, fixed pitch, and just fighting with it the whole time.
So
it was
realistically, what were
crazy.
you able to do? What type of flying?
Nothing. You could just barely hover.
Okay.
But you're lucky to move it around like side to side a little bit. That's about it. I mean, you couldn't even really hover because every little stick input was changing the speed of the engine, which changed the speed of the main blade and the tail blade, and the thing would kick over to the side and go up a little bit and down a little bit. It was all over the place. I mean, if you got a 30-second hover in, you were killing it.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. All right.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
were those the days of switch inverted?
Way before that. Way before that. So for the older listeners, there was a battery charger that was made by Litco. It was called an Alpha 4, and the gentleman's name was Pete Figelski, and he made a fixed pitch heli out of his house. He made 3 of them, one for himself, one for myself, and another one for Rock Leone. And he says, just let's see if we can get it flying. And at the time, it was pretty crafty, and it actually did fly, but it was a lot of work. And we showed up at the field with it, and everybody's like, "Holy crap, what is that?" And it had a think it had an OS 25 in it, airplane engine with the heat sink and the heliball muffler that was on it. Wooden blades that you had to build. It was crazy, but that's where it all started.
When you're saying build the blades, you mean cut them, cover them kind of thing? Or to
It
what
was
extent did you have to build
there were
blades?
weights that had to be inserted. You had to balance them, so you had to get the center of gravity correct and the weight of each blade correct. You had to put on the grips. You had to epoxy the grips on, and then you put a sticky film on it, like a vinyl.
So fair to say then, anybody now who complains about trying to set up their flybarless system is just being a little bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I listened to him like this. At the Fun Fly the other day, there was a gentleman there like, this system sucks. I was like, you have no idea.
So do you or Devin, do you have any flybarred helis yet?
Oh yeah, I still have an original Cricket fixed pitch heli. I've got a Harobo Skidoo. I've got
any more
another...
modern flybarred?
Yeah, Raptor. So
okay,
I got a Raptor 50 flybar.
Here's something we talked about in other episodes, and as I talked to other people, they kind of like the idea, but you guys are going to IRCHA, I believe. John and myself, and hopefully Aaron will be going as well. We kicked around trying to get a time and set something up to have a little flybarred smackdown to get people to meet up, bring some old school flybarred, and let's see some flybarred smackdown, and then we can
I've got a scale Bell 222 with Harobo flybarred mechanics in it, retractable gear, and a bunch of shit.
Yeah. No, it'd be kind of cool. We could do a little first, second, third sort of thing, print out some, really cheesy little awards. And
yeah, no, I'm game for that. I'll bring them.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Well, I'll let you know, because I know I'd have to see how it works out. I'll have to ask Augie if he'd care if, one of the end sides, away from center, if we just have, say, a certain day or time.
Do it right at center stage.
Yeah, right. It'll be nice. I've had a couple questions for him, and he's been responding and been nice to me. So I want to be respectful back, and I want to see him bring IRCHA back around. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty excited.
The criteria in advance is if we're doing the flybar smackdown, you're disqualified if you go 20 feet or higher.
Hey, Bob Weaven built submarines back in the time.
Really? There you go. See, Aaron, he's staying under the surface. Not that's under your 20 feet.
RC subs. So. Quick story with that. I built a fast attack Akula that was a static dive boat. So you didn't have any air control over it. You just weighted it neutral buoyancy, and the dive planes would make it dive. So we put it in the pool. We're running it around. It is the coolest thing. Once it gets underwater, it's just like an airplane. You roll and then you pull back and bank your turn. It's just and it's like twice as fast underwater as it is on the surface, right? So we get it all done, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. We come back the next day, the pool's down about 2 feet of water. The rudder hit the bottom of the pool liner and put about 15 cuts in it.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah. I was like, fuck this submarine.
Yeah, that changed your mind real quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's kind of cool, though.
But it was very, very, very cool. So I was like, I looked into building one with a camera in it. With a 2.4, gigahertz transmitter and everything.
Yeah.
And running it in the lake and stuff. It was like, screw that.
Outfitted to make it look like a shark.
No, yeah, right.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Just tooling around, get arrested.
Yeah, just go down to the shore and drop it in real quick and see what happens, and scare the ever loving Jesus out of someone.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that project. That would be cool.
There'd be some Karen yelling at you. You'd probably get arrested.
Oh yeah, they're gonna yell at you for anything nowadays. Why not?
You know what though? I think it would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be. Well, you can just say it's all good. I identify as a shark handler, and it'll be fine. Because
there you go.
As long as that's how it goes, then that negates everything.
Oh man,
we'll get the full package lawyers on it.
Yeah. We'll have full package RC lawyers. We'll have them get on that workup. See what we can do.
Oh man,
I'm not sure how that'll work. First, I'd have to retain a lawyer.
The flybar flying sounds good, though. I still fly them. I still fly them at least 3 or 4 times a year. I take them out and just run them around.
Yeah, I'd have to get Aaron. We'd have to get yours out and try it, make sure everything's still working fine with it. But
yeah,
I'm always down to it. You got electric or nitro? Both of mine are nitro.
Electric. It's the only flybar I have left is a good old T-Rex 500 ESP. I got rid of like my old Raptor 30s and stuff like that, so I'll bring the good old 500 out and beat the shit out of that.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah, I'll have Derek let me use he has the Blade 500. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
Well, we're crashing that.
But then again, the
my
way I
Snell
fly,
one's
it would
electric.
live.
But the other ones are nitro.
Yeah, they're fun though. That'd be
Oh,
a good
yeah.
time. John, do you have anything flybarred?
No, but I am looking for a flybar head for my Nitro Pro.
Good man. Good man.
But I don't know. I can't find any.
For Nitro Pro Align?
Yeah.
I didn't know you still had that. I thought that thing was gone.
Oh no. That's the one I'm keeping.
Okay.
So everybody talks about flybarless, and everything. And back before there were flybarless, we took a TZ Frenzy 50 flybarred unit, and I'm looking at it. I was at Helly's over Delaware, and I'm like, I think I could turn this into a flybarless. Everybody else is flying all these nice factory machines made for it. I said, I'm gonna remove the flybar from here and see if I can get it to work. So I had a swash follower that would go onto the main shaft that locked onto it that kept your timing. And then I just took all the flybarless stuff off, made 2 long links and hooked it up. And I flew, I put a, I don't know what it was. What's the stuff that they used to send from China? It was a foo bar, I think. It was like a knockoff of a
K-bar?
V-bar. Yeah. But
K-bar.
K-bar. That was it. I put that on there and I fired this thing up and everybody's like, what do you think? You think it's going to work? I'm like, I don't know. It's either going to work or crash. And it took off and it flew beautiful. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's just, let's just remove all these parts. You don't need all this shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know. That was a long time ago, man. That's before Ron Riccio took it over. So,
Ouch.
We got to bring back
Yeah.
HOD.
2012, maybe 2010.
I'm barely flying at 2012. So
Yeah. Devin wasn't flying yet. He was going with me, but he was just starting to mess around with helis, and he wouldn't fly in front of anybody.
yeah.
That's where I originally we met you guys at HOD one year.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one little kid kept coming up to us and talking to us, and we had no idea who he was. And at first, and Aaron was really young too, and I'm like, "Who's this pain in the ass that keeps coming up to us?" And we fast forward how many years later, and it's Devin's the pain in the ass. So it was just kind of funny because it was all the campers were up along the side, and it's just funny now to see how the kids all grew up. My kids, and then Devin, and some of the other younger guys that I've seen who are like little young snots, and now, well, even like Kyle Stacy, how young he was.
Yep, all of them.
And now seeing, where he's at and what they're doing, and it's kind of cool.
Old weathered men.
Yeah. I mean, you're not an old weathered man, but you've been doing it long enough that you've seen a lot of it too. So it's kind of neat to see how everything has grown and changed over the years. So I'm kind of glad I got sucked back into things a little bit, because last year I was thinking of getting out of it, and here I am this year getting even more helis and going back to IRCHA and going even bigger than I did before, and it's kind of cool. I'm digging it.
I have the best time with the people. I mean, I love the flying and everything, but sitting around, laughing, joking around, just making fun of people. It's just a good time.
There we go. See,
I agree.
Yep.
And that's how this all started. Me and John sitting around making fun of people, calling them out on stuff, making them do things they didn't want to do, taking them outside their comfort zone. It's a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that's what you do in everything else you do. You go out with your friend, you go out boating and stuff. What are you doing? Sitting around while you're drinking out there, but you're having a good time, laughing with your friends.
Have you been to some of the fun flies?
Yeah.
No. It's just non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
No drinking.
Yeah,
no drinking. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's all good. I redact that last statement.
I don't. I stand on business.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Last episode, he goes in this whole long thing about safety and how we got to be safety, and then he ends it off by saying how he likes to get a couple twisted teas and then go fly. I'm like, really?
Responsibly.
You got to be kidding,
man.
It's pretty funny.
I try to hold back. I just keep it to hookers and blow. That's it. Everything else I can't do. So,
I feel that.
Nice.
You feel that? You feel my pain?
Yeah. The twee and blow is the way to go.
Yeah.
Some of the fun fly hose are a little, busted. Not really worth it, but the twee and the coke are worth it.
I don't know. Back in the day, the fun fly girls were pretty good.
Back in the day, now they're Well, I won't go into that.
So?
Never mind.
So I just missed those days. We started going to all these fun flies kind of right after all that stuff stopped. So I've heard stories of events where it was like completely out of control, and I'm glad I missed that, because I was bringing Devin with me. He was like 8 years old,
Yeah.
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 Oh boy. So,
I mean, shit, at certain sections of Urcha at night, I was there one night till like, well, I spent the whole night, a couple nights, and it can be like a party there, man. There's a lot of shit going on you wouldn't think would be going on at a helicopter fun fly after hours.
Right.
It's
right.
Well, I know the one
It's
far
wild.
the one far corner. Every time you drove through there, you had the munchies. So I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that's the least of it. That's
I know,
that's
but
not
it was just pretty damn funny anyway.
that's every fun fly anymore. Come on, man.
Not everyone, but
Yeah. They're all having a good time. Just don't hurt
exactly.
anybody.
As long as they're having fun, that's what I'm looking forward to doing again. My last time I
heck
was at
yeah.
Urcha, we actually slept at the field in a tent. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I'm not doing
Cool.
that one ever again. That was
Yeah.
a little bit too over the top. So I'll do the camper this year. My ass is too old and too fat to be doing the tent anymore.
Camper's
That
nice.
wasn't as bad as the one in North Jackson though, where you
Ye-
had to sleep with the coyotes.
Oh yeah, that was a whole other thing. Yeah, that was interesting. When you wake up in the middle of the night to the coyotes right at the tent. That was always fun too. Good times. That's what I
Like,
mean.
look
All
at
the
the
events
nice-
have been pretty good.
Look at the nice doggy. You got a bone?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Here-
not a dog.
Here, little doggy.
Yeah.
So when you go with some of your other RC stuff that you guys have done, you did the submarines and boats and all the other stuff. Have you ever taken it to the level like you have with the helis? Like, have you competed with anything or gone to like
No.
you never raced or anything like that with cars?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So it's just been a little dabbling here, dabbling there, but helis has
just
been the most
dabbling.
serious.
There was an outside track not too far from us. We used to go down and just impromptu race with a bunch of guys just running stuff around, but it wasn't anything like what we do with the helis. Not even close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
noticed.
the airplane stuff. I've been to a lot of events, and I like flying them. I have a good time, but no interest in sitting around all day and getting one flight in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Although I say that, but like I've gone years when we've gone to Urcha, gone to some of the fun flies. I'll go to multiple day events, and I'll be lucky sometimes to get 2 or 3 flights in for the whole event.
Yeah, but it's different when you're at the heli event because the guys are sociable, you
Yeah.
know, and fun.
You're saying
So,
the plankers aren't?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there you go.
I have personally been told that the planker crowd isn't as fun as the heli crowd. So
I can confirm from working at a hobby shop for years, the plane guys can be a little grumpy or not quite as fun as the heli guys.
Yeah. I mean, they just do it different, you know. That's all. So
yeah,
yeah. It's just
not to shit on airplane guys because I enjoy them too. But
yep.
You're-
I do too.
you're a
I
I
like
planker
flashed
alert.
with a lot more airplane guys than
Yeah, yeah. I
other
like to, like I
people.
said, I like to have fun and laugh. You know, when the plane goes in, we're like, "Wow, boy, where'd you learn how to do that?" And they get all pissed off. or I'll walk up to them. I'll be like, "Wow, that was really cool. Can you do it again?"
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
And they just look at you like, "What are you an asshole?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Fuck you, Rob.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know. It's just different. It's a completely different atmosphere. So
So have you
I went.
ever crashed that jet you have?
Oh God, the one that I was flying the other day. No,
Yeah, the one
But,
from Ocean County.
no, not that one. I put in a T1 last year from a bad battery, and the turbine quit on me pretty far down the runway. I was up in Perry, New York, and they had skydivers out. Everything you fly has got an expiration date on it. It's going to become a kit again at some point. So just whether it happens right away or way down the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah, and honestly, the Excalibur, I don't want to see it crash because I really enjoy flying that. It's easy to fly. I can have anybody fly that airplane. And I've got a ton of flights on it. So at this point in the game, it owes me nothing. But it's just a fun, relaxed flying airplane.
It's a good looking jet.
Yeah, everybody kind of laughs at it when like if you go to a small jet event, they're like, "Ugh, what are you flying that for? That's a trainer." And I'm like, and then I watch them take one flight on their $30,000 jet. Okay, I came here to fly, not to look at it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a trainer.
Yeah, they consider it a trainer, but I mean it's pretty quick. It'll do just about anything you want it to do. But it slows down. It slows down, pretty nice when you got the flaps and the crow in and you're coming down and the engine's running. You can land at a little bit more than the walking pace with it. It's really nice fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. Even though it flamed out, still looked good.
Yeah, boy, it got quiet quick, didn't it?
Yeah, that was actually kind of neat. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard one of those do that.
Yeah.
We used to fly at a field where there was a lot of jets, and then we stopped going because, quite honestly, most of the jet guys were kind of assholes.
At least at that field.
At that field,
Yeah.
they were. Yeah, they just had more money than brains, and they wanted to be real rude. They didn't like
Yep.
helis at all, and they were just really rude to anybody flying helis, and it was ridiculous. But I've met
Yeah.
other guys
What
that
I-
have kind
what
of
I-
changed my mind now that made me
What
realize
I got
they're
at a
not
lot
all
of
that
the
way.
other fields is when you show up, you need to be turbine wavered to fly these things.
Yeah.
So you got to get checked out by another turbine pilot and a turbine pilot that's got a contest director certificate, I guess, if you want to call it that. And it's basically, they're fast. And, if you're not paying attention to it, it can get away from you like in the blink of an eye. And when they crash, they go in hard. The tanks will split. You can have a fire. You can do a lot of damage, So they make you get
Yeah.
certified, I'm going to call it. And we would go to these other events, and I'd take the jet out, and the plankers would walk up to me and be like, "You got a turbine waiver?" "Of course I do." "Oh, did you get it here?" And I'm like, "No." "Oh, then you can't fly it." And I'm like,
Really?
wait a second, time out. I'm like, what's that all about? And that's them just flexing their muscles,
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're just blocking you. They're trying to block you.
Yeah.
Either that or they don't know the rules.
Oh, they probably know the rules. People like that usually know the rules better than everybody else, and they exploit them any way they can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They want to gatekeep the field or gatekeep the hobby in some sort of way, and that shit gets old.
Oh
yeah, I mean, when I first got started flying, I mean, I had the same experience where these people were just critiquing, mine and my dad's build, and they're like, "Oh, you need to put epoxy here. You can't fly until you put it on." Blah blah blah. So like, it took me probably 4 visits until someone actually took care of us and flew with me and trained me. And I guess they realized that I wasn't coming. I wasn't gonna go away. I'm just gonna keep coming back, and they're gonna keep trying to find problems, and we're just gonna keep trying to fix it until
we've got clubs here that had 250 members in it back in the 80s, and over the years of them doing that kind of behavior and everything, they're down to like 30 members, and
Wow.
they can barely pay their bills. And now they're like, "Oh, come fly with us." I'm like, "I'm not coming to fly with you."
Good.
That's drastic.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is what
And
it
why
is.
would you
What
want to
are you
gatekeep the RC hobby? Like that's
I honestly don't know. We got a club up here that I was vice president of for 10 years,
Oh, I know
and
this one.
they just you flew there, and
Yeah.
they hated the heli guys. Absolutely hated them. They weeded them all out. Said, "We're not renewing you this year. Your conduct is unbecoming an RC pilot," and whatever excuse they use. And now they're down to like next to nobody in the club, and they go there and they sit and drink coffee on Saturday mornings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We've had a couple of our local fields, one in specific, the field we actually currently fly at. They put out an email basically saying how the heli guys are making the other pilots feel very uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, go hide behind your car. Bearing in mind, we are the only heli guys at our field. There's like maybe 20 or 25 guys at our field. And it was incredibly rude of them to say, how unsafe we make them feel when, I'll be honest, like the treasurer and so the president and a lot of the higher ups in our field, they fly behind the flight line. They can't fly to save their life.
Dude,
they can't
we had
land.
a meeting. We had a meeting about safety at that field. Okay, and
Yeah.
they were poo pooing the helicopters like crazy. And mind you, nothing had ever happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, they're dangerous, this, that, and the other thing. We want to put you down in that corner." And we joked around like, nobody puts baby in a corner. And we were like, "All right, fine, we'll fly down there." So we're walking down to fly, and here comes a 40 size trainer right past us behind the pits, right into a guy's trailer. And we walked up and said, "Hey guys, we're supposed to be the dangerous ones." And he's like, "Well, come on, it just got away from me, that's all." And I'm like,
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wow.
That's all.
So
I don't know.
what's the craziest thing you've seen at any events, whether it be jets, helis, just something that made your jaw drop and you went, "What the hell just happened?"
Oh man. The craziest one I've seen, I wasn't at the event, but that was down at Warbirds over Delaware when Mac Hodge put that big B-17, I think it was, into the
Oh
crowd.
yeah, right into the tent.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. He
Yeah.
actually went out and ran it up, and the left outboard engine quit on him. And he just went out there and flipped the prop and then put the coals through it. The motor quit on takeoff. It torqued over to the left and went right into the.
Wow.
oh my God.
I didn't even want to look. I was like, holy crap. So, I've seen a couple people get hit with helis. That was bad. What else? Couple people got broken ankles from RC cars ripping around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how that can
Been
happen.
there.
Yep.
Been sent to the hospital by an RC car by someone in this call.
Yep.
What'd you do, John?
Can narrow that one down, right?
We have it on video and everything too.
John, it must have been John.
Now,
I don't know what he's talking
mind
about.
you, the incidents that I'm talking about are like there's 3 that stick out over the course of 40 years. Okay,
Right.
like things that actually went bad. I've seen a ton of crashes, all kinds of different. I've seen them hit flagpoles and into the fence, into trees. Just into everything. So, but there's a few that stick out.
When you do it long enough and you get to enough events or just flying at fields, I mean, you just see it. Stuff happens.
Yeah. Yep,
That's, we used to go to enough the car races where we saw some really crazy stuff happen with the cars. I've seen enough with helis and planes. I've seen guys get hit with planes already. It's not pretty,
We had a gentleman that was just learning how to fly RC helis, and he showed up with a Hirobo shuttle, and he was flying it. And guys, those blades were so far out of track. There had to be at least 3 or 4 inches
Oh, geez.
separating.
Oh my God.
Okay. And this heli's hovering and just shaking like crazy. And I told him, I said, look, land that. Let me at least set the tracking on the heli. It'll fly so much better. He goes, listen, and at the time, this is 30 years ago, we were always messing with them, trying to make them fly and just work and, make it better. So when I came and said that to him, he was like, I watch you guys dick around with those things all the time. It was like, it's got to come apart. It's got to. It's shaking so bad.
Were you guys like making bets like it's this one, definitely next one?
Oh, it was bad. So I couldn't believe it flew. So it looked like it had 4 blades on it.
Oh my God.
It was that far out of track. It was crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
He was happy as a pig in shit at the end of the day and packed it up, went home, said this was a great day. It's like,
wow.
More
power. As long as he's not hurting anyone, let him be, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem. Back when we were learning how to do all this stuff, every day was a learning experience, and we were just messing things up like crazy. Somebody asked me one time, it's like, oh, how could you be so good at setting stuff up and tuning and all that stuff? And I told them, because I have fucked up everything there is.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
and learned from it, And back then it was like that. You screwed it up until you figured it out.
Well, I think
there was nobody to tell you any different.
That's probably even true of now, though, of even modern stuff. If you want to get better, you can't be afraid to mess up.
No.
So some people, I think, are too afraid to make mistakes or mess up, and then they always want someone else holding their hand or doing it. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've messed up either programming or said something wrong or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll never do that one again. Some of the mistakes are so bad that you're like, okay, you make that once and done.
You got to learn the hard way. Yeah.
But you tweak something and you go to fly and go, oh, that's worse. Okay, never mind. Let's go back the other way.
Some of it is also that, you're putting a significant amount of money into these machines. And, if it does go in, it hurts, I mean, granted, you're not killing the radio. You're putting, what's a 700 crash cost you now? $200-$300 sometimes, maybe less.
500.
500 it could be.
I mean, depending on, because your blades alone can probably be, $130 maybe.
Well, we used to say the size of the blades is the cost of the crash. A 700 is a $700 crash.
Yeah.
A 250 is $250. And it really doesn't play out quite like that, but it kind of a little bit. And I think people got this money thing going on where they're afraid. They're not necessarily afraid to break the heli, but they maybe they don't have the funds to fix, right away, or who knows, You see a lot of people get set up. It's like, man, I don't have the money to fix it. I'm like, well, so you work a couple weeks and then you fix it. That's what we did.
Yeah. Or sometimes, you have 2 kids that are flying and they just keep flying and keep wrecking, and it's not real expensive for each crash.
That's
it's
part of the process.
A lot.
Yeah. It gets expensive and it gets time consuming. You know,
Yeah.
constantly fixing stuff, rebuilding shit. So
Any fun hobby though that gives you the adrenaline that helicopters gives you is that way. You know, I
Oh, yeah.
do
Yep.
real drifting. The drifting, that's constant break, build, repeat. Helis, same thing. When we raced off-road RC cars, same thing.
Yep.
That's I think a part of the cycle that's good. You know, a lot of people look at it as a bad thing, and that really can be A, make sure you work your ass off so you have money for your hobby.
Yeah.
And B, it makes you appreciate it a little more.
Pretty much everything that I have in every aspect of the RC, I have one helicopter that is like low head speed, nice and smooth, just flying around, nothing stupid, you know? Same with the cars. I just got a car that just works. It's not terribly fast, and it doesn't break. I got a couple airplanes like that. So, you know, you take those out on a weekend. Maybe you're not quite feeling it that weekend and, you know, just want to take it easy. So I keep something around like that just to have some fun. And then when you want to beat something up and put it in the ground, you know, you got something else to do that too.
Beaters are the best.
Because
Yes.
you always have to have the beaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, the beater helis, my beater helis fly the best for some
Yeah.
reason for me.
And
I guess it's the
don't crash 'em.
consistency. No,
Yeah.
it's probably the consistency because I fly them more than
Yeah.
my non-beater helicopters.
Yeah.
So I probably know it inside and out. You know how it flies, how it reacts to things. I guess, and yeah, that's funny.
I think that was
Gotta
always
have-
the thing with the kids when they were flying this stuff. They were like, Dad's going to pay for it. Let's just go fly and beat the shit out of it.
The thought in my mind,
Yep.
up until I was 16, 17, it wasn't a thought of, oh shit, Dad has to pay for this. It was, haha, I'm flying low and beating up on it till it goes in, and then we'll figure it out. I had never thought about money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only once I started working, then it became oh wow, I feel terrible for what I put you through.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember, John, I think you helped me out the one time. It was a HOD Saturday morning. I think I was only there for the single day, and we got there, and it was like, I gave him, it was his 600, that thing's been crashed into the ground, you know, who knows how many times. And it was like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, let's take it easy. We have a long day. And it was like first time out, he hit the tail on the ground, wrecked it. And I had to get bearings and swap stuff. You had some bearing remover or something. You were over trying to help me do the tail stuff. There I am at 10 o'clock in the morning already trying to get him rebuilt. And, you know, then we have a whole day ahead of us yet. It was crazy.
I remember back we were flying N7s, and we had 3 or 4 of them. Devin was flying, and we had I think I had a silver line in it with the remote satellite receiver, and that came unplugged, and the helicopter just kind of sat there, just sideways, like 90 degrees going towards the ground. And he turned around and looked at me like, what do you want me to do? I don't have control of it. I was like, turn around. I said, you try to fly that till it hits the ground. You all the way to the ground, okay? You never know if it's going to come back, okay? Yeah. Hit that auto switch. And he says to me, I don't know how to do an auto. And I'm like, that's it. I said, no more smack. I said, you're not going to be a smack pilot that can't auto. I said, that ain't going to happen. So I grabbed the other N7 because I was all pissed off. I said, I'm going to show you how to do an auto. I fired it up, and I'm climbing it out. It gets up about maybe 100 feet and quits. Okay? I was so pissed off I forgot to put fuel in it. I popped it up, turned it back, nose towards me, just about blade stopped it, got the blades back spinning, and set it down right in front of me. I was like, that's how you do a fucking auto.
But wait, you got to go back. What happened to the one that was just hovering sideways?
Oh, it was trashed.
Okay. I was gonna say, you never ended that story. You kind of left us hanging with it just hovering sideways.
Oh yeah. Well, that one. What happened is he came out of like a backwards turning maneuver, and he was basically over 90 degrees, and that was it. Nobody home. Nothing changed. It was just like at zero pitch and just all the way to the ground. Boom.
Wouldn't that automatically hit throttle hold? Like
no, because you just lost all your control. You had no.
Yeah, if the receiver disconnects, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Whatever the last input is still.
Yeah, the safety's on the receiver. Yeah. Oh wow.
Crazy. So it is crazy.
Well, John, when we first met you, the first time we were up at Seaview Rotary.
Yep.
There was a guy there. I don't know why I can remember. He was flying a Compass. I forget exactly if it was like maybe a 6HB or something like that. And he was flying, and all of a sudden I hear him going, I don't have it. And it's just out going away from us. Yep. You remember that, Aaron?
It's just going,
yeah.
And it's just going. And it's,
I know who it is.
It's
there's
slowly
only one
just
pilot at TV that flies a Compass.
I was going to say, because he's slowly just out over the field. He was out over the water, and it was almost completely disappeared. And everybody's like, what do you do? And it just was slowly flying away. And everybody's like, okay, I guess you're saying goodbye to that heli. And just that
Hey
quick,
guys,
he's
guys,
like, I
give me
think I
one
got
second.
it.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta just grab something to eat. It's not eat, drink. It's way too hot up in his room.
Yeah.
Hang on one second.
All right.
I'll be back.
Yep. The thing just was flying away, John, and I just remember him going, "Oh, I don't have it," and then just that quick, he's like, "Wait, I think I have it," and it slowly started just coming back, and then it started getting bigger, and I heard somebody yelling, "It's getting bigger! Keep going, and they got
Oh,
that thing
man.
back, barely got onto the field, and they just landed it, and then walked all the way out to get it because they just wanted to get it down on the ground.
Wow.
But that was the very first time I was out there because I remember thinking, "Oh my God, it's just going out over the water! It's just gonna drop in and." It's going to be toast.
I missed that one. I don't know what the hell. Oh, I was too busy running the fun fly or, helping with the fun fly. But yeah, I missed that one. I didn't even hear about that. That's news to me.
It was crazy because I just remember sitting there. I had never seen anything like that where it just was real slow. Like, usually you see them, you lose control and it's doing something and it goes in quick. And this thing was just like slow and steady, just flying a straight line away. And it was the kind of the coolest thing, because it wasn't my heli.
Rather it be
But-
quick, I'll be honest. Like I got lucky. I've only ever had one brownout in my whole heli career, and it was with a little 450, T-Rex 450. And it was low. I was like a foot off the ground, and it just immediately slammed in. And I would not have it any other way, because that's anxiety riddling watching your heli go away, knowing it could go hit someone, hit something. I'd rather dump it the fuck in and call it good there and eat the heli than potentially what could come out of, the other outcome.
Yeah, that reminds me of one of the events. It's the one in Jersey, the one in the airport. I forgot the name of the airport.
Is that South Jersey, like Allen Airstrip or something?
Yeah, that's it. Allen Airstrip. It was probably it was my first year as like a Leap 3D pilot. They gave us like the the inverting quadcopters.
Oh
The
yeah,
Leap
that's
3D.
right. I remember
Familiar
those.
with it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just got literally just got mine, right? And I was flying it, and Devin was right next to me. And I'm telling him like how great this thing is, blah blah blah, And then all of a sudden, Devin's like, "Oh, can you do the recovery?" And I was like, "All right, let's try it." I never tried it, right? So I flipped the switch for the auto level and the recovery, and I have no idea what orientation it was, and the recovery was slowly moving away from me.
Oh boy.
And it was like literally a dot. And then Devin calls Rob. He's like, "Dad, he lost orientation."
Oh, dude,
You remember that?
What was that? That was that reversing pitch quadcopter.
Yeah, it was the
Right?
Leap
Yeah.
3D. Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
back.
Yeah, we covered all that already if you would have been present, but since you had to leave,
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I had to. It's so freaking hot up here. I opened up a couple
You
windows.
gotta not be prepared, not have a drink. You just in the middle of the show where you're the special guest. You just get up and leave as you want, whatever. I see how it goes.
Man, I'm
Anyway.
sorry. I apologize.
Anyway,
man.
and then I think Rob, you were the one that coached me.
Yep.
Remember, you were like, "All right, relax, calm down," and then you're like, "Move it, elevator up, give me elevator down," and then he's like, "All right, I got it. I think I got it. Just keep on pulling." And I was like, "I don't know, Rob. I don't know." He's like, and you were like, "Yeah, just keep on pulling." And then eventually, it came around, and then I got the orientation back, and that thing was really hard to fly without the lights.
Yeah. Once I figured out, I had you turn and then pull.
Yeah.
So when I said turn left and pull, and it went to our left, I knew it was heading away from us.
Yeah.
So I let you come around, and when it flattened out, I'm like, "All right, keep it flat." And you're like, "It's not coming back." I'm like, "It's coming back. Just keep going. It's still in the air. Keep going." And then eventually got close enough where he's like, "Holy crap, man!
Yeah.
You got way out there too, man."
Oh no, it was a
Holy
little dot.
shit.
I could barely see it. It was a dot.
Yeah.
And then that same night, what was it? Like you were like I was flying it during the night flying, and then I was about to finish flying, and then you were gonna come out and ask me a question about it, and then I crashed it.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Are you kidding me?" I think I still got that video on my YouTube page, and I gotta look for it.
That's funny. Well, for the longest time, I wanted to try one of these turbine helis, and every time I saw Cade Sierra Pampa, I said, "Cade, I want to fly your heli." "Okay, I'm gonna fly it first." And I was like, "Okay," and he crashed it. The next time I saw him, "Hey, Cade, I want to try that." He goes, "Okay, let me fly it first." And I was like, "Uh-oh," and he crashed it. So I saw him down in we were at Frank's fun fly down in Miami, I was like, Kate, I want to fly the heli, but you're not flying it first because the last 2 times you crashed it. He's like, okay, so and so is going to fly it first, and that guy crashed it. I'm like, oh, come on, right? I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I stopped asking him. It's like, I'm done. I flew Raj's 2 weeks ago.
I was just gonna say you could have asked Raj.
Yeah, I walked out there. I said, hey, give me the transmitter. He's like, here you go.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, he's easy.
Yeah,
like that.
Roger's really cool, man. Like, it's one of the coolest guys that I met.
Yeah. So I actually turbine wavered him on fixed wing when we were down
Oh
there.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, he's been flying them for a long time, and I've flown with him on a couple of turbine airplanes. And he says, I got to get my waiver one of these days. I was like, well, I got paperwork with me. You want to do it now? He's like, sure. So
So do you got to get a turbo waiver for planes and for helis?
Yeah, it's 2 separate turbine.
So, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and now in order to do a turbine waiver, you have to get wavered by a designated helicopter turbine CD. So it's not just a turbine. Well, I am one of them now. So
all right, cool.
That's
good to know.
Casey Campbell's one of them. There's a few. There's only a few though.
Yeah, I was unaware. I thought when you had a turbine waiver, you were good. Like you were covered on both.
You're good to give him his primary, his actually secondary sign off. The primary sign off has to be done from a designated turbine heli CD.
I mean, to get them though, I didn't know you had to get separate ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's two,
interesting.
It's two people. So.
Is it because there's 2 different processes?
No, it's same process. I'm just thinking they're trying to cover their bases on safety, and I'm thinking maybe 2 different people you'll get more information. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I went to waiver. I can't remember his name now. Whatever. It'll come to me later. And we were down in Fredericksburg, and I did all the paperwork and everything. And that's when Casey comes up to me and goes, you got to be a designated, heli CD. I'm like, what the hell is that? So they told me, and I was like, all right. So I called up Augie, and he's like, look, just do the paperwork and send it to me. I was like, all right. So we did the paperwork right then and there, and like 2 days later, he called me and goes, all right, you're good to go. Yeah.
Nice. I had no idea.
It's something that IRCHA did. IRCHA came in, and made a designated CD.
New IRCHA board, you mean?
Yeah, 2 years ago at IRCHA, they were giving them out like like French fries. So like, here, you have one, you have one, you have one. So
it was like Oprah.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Hey, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
Yeah, you get a waiver. You get a waiver.
You get a waiver. You get a waiver. So yes, hold on. Hold this mirror up to your nose. Yep, he's breathing. Give him one.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, how many people are flying turbine helicopters?
Yeah, not
6?
a lot. Yeah.
So, maybe.
I was just thinking of Raj. He's always the only guy I see typically at a fun fly flying anything turbine.
Yeah.
Well, he just started flying turbine on those, didn't he?
What was that?
Didn't
no, he's flying gas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was flying gas.
Oh, he's got a turbine also. He's got a
yeah. But he only recently started doing the turbine on the helicopter, right?
It's a few years now. It's a couple years.
I didn't know. I didn't
2 or 3
realize it was
years.
a few years on that.
Yeah.
I thought that was more recent.
I lied. It was. I'm used to Raj flying gassers, not turbines. I was wrong on that.
Yeah, he's got on that turbine in his helicopter. I think he said he has 45 hours on that engine. So that's a lot of flights.
So for him, that's like a weekend.
I'll say he'll take his little lawn chair out and kick back, and he'll fly for an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's 45 hours is a lot of hours because you're figuring it's 4 hours, so that's 100. It's probably close to 200 flights.
Wow.
Yeah, which is that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's cool. I tell you what, I flew it. What a smooth helicopter. Holy crap. So really nice. I mean,
what's your
vibration.
preference?
What's that?
Turbine, gas, electric, or nitro?
My favorite?
Yes.
Nitro.
You're a nitro boy.
Nitro. Yeah.
Okay.
Nitro, then gas, then electric.
Wow, electric's third. Jeez.
So it's the challenge of getting them to run right. That's why I like the wet fuel as one of my friends call it.
Is that how you got the McToon?
Yeah. So, oh man, it's I don't know. It's challenging. The electrics are too easy. Too easy, too much power, too forgiving. You could screw up and get yourself out of things because you got so much power.
You kind of sound like Mike Sobey now.
What was that?
I do get where you're coming.
You sound
like
Mike because he doesn't like electric stuff. He likes the nitro and the smoothness and everything of them. And I said, so even though he's not here, he's still here in spirit.
Yeah, but I still, nitro and gas. That's where it's at.
I always love watching people go from flying hard smack electric, where you go, oh wow, they're a good pilot. Give them a nitro heli and see how little collective management they have.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. So I do still like nitro for that reason. You know, electric's still my favorite, but nitro is just fun to watch people struggle.
If you got a guy that's good with the collective management on the nitro, they're really good with the electric.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Really, it's crazy. Yeah. The downside of it, the gasoline's not too bad, because it's cheap, but freaking nitro, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
What's it up to now?
50 a gallon or something like that.
Well, if that's if you're buying it by the gallon. If you can get in with a group of guys, you can get VP down a little bit over 30 a gallon. But you got to buy.
Oh wow.
You got to buy 55 gallons of it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's if you're getting good fuel. Too many people, at least around where we live, run this S&W swamp water.
Oh
bullshit.
my God.
It's absolute garbage fuel. Then those same guys come into the hobby shop going, "Why is my engine not running right?" Well, you're running shit fuel.
Yeah,
so I've been friends with Stan for a long time, and I used to honestly, because he was right here and I knew him for so long, that I was like, I really want to run his fuel. And I used it as weed killer because I just couldn't get my shit to run.
He caused a walkout in one of the helicopter fun flies out in Philly, not Philly, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, he was complaining that one of the pilots was flying behind the flight line. Meanwhile, the pilot was just, flying safely. Like, he was just flying diagonally because of the sun. And it was morning. And are you guys familiar with the Lehigh Valley?
I am, yeah. That's not far from me, yeah.
Yeah. Over there, like I guess the sun is bad, like at a certain time of the day. And one of the pilots was flying, and he started yelling at the guy, like blah, 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 while he's flying. And one of the other pilots that was spotting him was like, "You don't yell at a guy flying a helicopter while he's doing maneuvers like 10 feet from the ground." And and then we just pissed off at that guy, Stan, and
his car fuel that he mixes is absolutely fantastic.
Really?
I have no issues with his car fuel whatsoever, or the airplane fuel. The heli fuel, I could not get my shit to run consistent. Yeah, dude, they are all gone. They're all of them are gone. All of them don't do anything for RC anymore.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, finally back.
Yeah, that field was awesome, man, for that reason. Where that was one of the first fields I was going to where they started putting shit out in the field, like the big cattails, the big.
Yep.
They had at one point that big. It was like a metal or PVC like big loop, and then they had pool noodles all around it. And people were flying under it, and it was always unique there what they had going on. It wasn't just the run of the mill night flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like a few years, but before the end of HOD, they have like a FPV track at one point.
Yeah, they had a big one down the right side.
They did that
all kinds of shit going on.
2016 maybe.
I was flying my jet there for lunchtime and dinner demonstration every day, just to break it up, and let them see something. And those are the guys. I showed up one year and they were like, "You got your turbine waiver?" I was like, "Dude, I've been doing this demo here for like 5 years." And it's like, "Yeah, but you're not wavered here, are you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not, because then you can't fly here." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, time out."
Outside of the event, that club is, I heard, is like kind of rude.
Yeah.
So
is the club even still active? Are they still there at that?
Yeah, they just had Warbirds. They just had Warbirds over Delaware not too long ago.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a shame, because it's a beautiful park. It's a beautiful park and a beautiful field there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's at like the perfect angle too. Like like it was an afternoon field, but it was when the sun sets and like you're flying along that flight line, it just like lights up your helicopter. Perfect.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then the trees are like nice and contrasty behind your helicopter.
John, that's where I first met Junior.
That's when you first met Junior?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Was it that year where I first went?
It might have been. You want to hear something messed up? Is that Devin took to him like you couldn't believe, like, wow, what a pilot.
Yeah.
And he was flying there, and I was scared shitless. I went out and grabbed Devin. I said, "You got to come on back here." I literally, and that was how many years was that before the accident? About 3.
It's got to be like 3 years, yeah.
3 years, yeah. I pulled him off that flight line. because he had asked me, he goes, "You want a spot for me?" And Devin's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Man," he was right in his face. I was like, "Dude," I said, "That's a mechanical thing, man. All it takes is one thing to break, and you guys are done." So I pulled him off the
Yeah.
flight line.
Is
Like,
that back
holy crap.
when a lot of
Well,
guys?
for the record, we don't know what happened. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
put that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
We
weren't
exactly.
don't know
they-
what happened. We don't know whether or not that's the same exact type of flying that he was doing. So let's not.
Yeah, we don't know if we don't know
Yeah,
whether it
we
was,
don't know.
it was just it
Ellie
was
or-
bad luck
Yep. Yep.
all the way
Freak
through.
accident, I say.
Yep. Yeah, very unfortunate
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's it was crazy. Yeah, that event was man. just-
Yeah, that's probably one of the big events that I go to when I used to live in New York.
yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the. It was like a week before IRCHA or 2 weeks before IRCHA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you go to HOD and you crash all your stuff, you got 1 week to get everything up
Oh,
and
yeah.
running for IRCHA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my dad's all too aware of that. Because then
Yeah.
I'd take a 600, two 700s, whatever, and I'd wreck all my shit. It'll be the mad dash to get, the test flights. Then would be my first flights at IRCHA after rebuilding
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
If it was 2 weeks, it was
Yeah.
2 weeks before IRCHA. I'd get all the parts. I'd quick check over everything, figure out what parts, get them ordered till they got here. Now is a week before IRCHA. I would do that mad dash. I'd get everything built, everything fixed, everything figured out, and then if we were lucky, we'd do a test hover. If I had it done in time. If not, we got there and just went for it.
Man.
Yeah.
It
Yep,
definitely
many
made
times.
it interesting. More than 1
Man,
year, I had
that's
2 and 3 helis to try to get repaired that way, all in a short period of time.
One of the first years Devin flew in front of anybody was down at Helly's over Delaware, and the 2 days before leaving, he was practicing, and all he was doing was really front flips and then a quarter pure flip out of it, and but he was practicing because he wanted to fly in the vegetation challenge where
Mhm.
you cut the stalks.
Yeah.
And we're flying that TZ Frenzy that I converted to fly barless, and blew the motor up. The OS 55 actually wasn't even a 55; it was an OS 50. Said, "That's it, I'm done." Munched a piston, and I was like, "Shit!" That was like the only heli we had that he was actually familiar with. So I found where was it? I think it was Ready Heli had the OS 50, and I called and I was
I've
like,
heard that name in a while.
That's all
"Yeah, I
was
know,
gonna say.
right? Yeah, I'm like, I need this for Helly's over Delaware in 2 days." They're like, "No problem, we'll overnight it to you." Like, okay,
Nice.
yeah, got the motor. We the next day we broke it in and went to Helly's over Delaware.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, Ready Heli, I missed that store, man. That was
Right?
one of the better stores out there. And
Yep.
like the funniest thing is like, like there's like order comments, right? They were the only ones that I knew of back then that would do the mints.
Oh yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
I was obsessed with those mints, right? So I would put on a comment like, like, hey, please enclose like extra mints, right? And then there was one time I said, please enclose unicorn or extra mints. And like on my receipt, some guy drew a freaking unicorn. I was done. I was like, oh man.
Oh man,
That's funny.
that is funny. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that where Bert Susie worked there, right? And I think Bert did too, didn't he?
Yeah,
That's
I
where
think
they
so.
met,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
I have no idea. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that I
remember
had no
hearing
idea on that
something about
either.
that.
You're the
Remember
man.
talk-
That's where we all learned from you because you've been in it longer than anybody.
I know, right? I'm furniture. Holy shit.
It's actually neat to, I haven't been in it that long, probably, I'm going to say, what is it now, maybe 15-ish years. But compared to some, that's like really long because a lot of guys get into it. They do it for a couple years, they go gung-ho, and then they either tap out because they don't have money or they realize it's a lot harder than they thought or, for whatever reason, they'll disappear a couple years, maybe come back or maybe just never see them then again. So for me, it's actually nice to talk to people who've been in it a lot longer and hear, a little more history from it or, how things
And
were
I mean,
before.
when we were, when the kids were young, we were into boating. And so all summer long, I was out in the boat. And I didn't have a huge boat, but it was a 25-foot Sea Ray that we were able to sleep on and just spent every waking minute on it during the summer. So I flew fall and the beginning of winter, didn't really do any flying in like January or February. And then we would pick up in the springtime, end of winter and springtime. And everybody would say, "We don't see you all summer long." I said, "That's because I'm yachting." That's what I used to say. I don't fly when I'm going yachting.
Nice.
So
I'm yachting.
yes, I'm yachting.
Never flew off the boat.
Oh yeah, of course we did. Yeah. So had floats on the heli. We used to put wood up on the front and shoot autos to the front of the boat.
My God,
How many times did
yeah.
you ever miss?
that's
Yeah, well,
pretty good.
you had floats on it, so if you missed, you weren't going to lose a heli. It was just going to get wet.
Were they floats or just pool noodles?
No, they were actually floats. They were Helimax made a set of gray. You blow them up like an air mattress type thing, and they would go on the bottom of the heli. You would take the gear off, and then there were two straight pieces of aluminum, and they
Okay.
mounted
Yeah,
to that, and they worked really good.
I've seen that one. I'm familiar with that product.
Yeah, so they worked really good. I was like, this is great. It was kind of weird. Like I used them. I really didn't take off the water like just floating because as you would start to spin up, there's very little resistance, so the thing really starts going around till the tail rotor gets some authority. So we would pretty much try to take off either off the front of the boat or off the beach with the back of the floats still on the sand. With some resistance. It was cool.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun.
I've never flown anything off of floats. Are there differences? Like,
Nah.
It
Yeah, once you're in the air,
relatively
won't
feels
even
the
notice
same.
the
But I
difference.
mean, even like with landing, like or even takeoff, does it do anything weird on takeoff? As you're
Well, yeah,
you know.
because if you're spooling up just on the water, it's going to start to, rotate as far as a helicopter's concerned.
Right.
The airplane has got a different set of floats. They're hard floats with rudders.
Right.
Okay, and it has a keel, so it's gonna stay pretty straight. But it's if you ever get a chance to do it, do it. It's a lot of fun. The nice thing
Sliding
about
autos on water.
sliding autos on water, yep, you can do
That would
those.
be great.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Cool.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it
Come
sounds
down
like it'd be fun.
inverted, hovering over the water, and everybody's like, "Dunk it, dunk it." No, I
Yeah,
don't want to do that.
That ends
So,
badly.
Yeah,
They don't do
so
real well that way.
that was. I mean, I did that for about 10 years, I guess. So it wasn't like always going like gangbusters, with the hobby, but it was always something. It's just I was building something or working on something. It just I don't know, just steady up until Devin really got an interest in flying. Then we just started going to everything.
But how old was he when he started getting into the actual really getting into the flying?
I started taking him to the field when he was 2.
Okay.
And he was just running around. He wasn't doing anything. He was probably 5 or 6 years old when he started messing around with some foamies, and he was pretty good at it. There was a gentleman that passed away. Lowell Bombach was his name. He was a 747 pilot. He flew freight from Anchorage, Alaska to Shanghai, I think, and back and forth in a 747, right? And he comes up to me one day. He goes, "Just got the best flying advice I've ever gotten," and it was from a 6-year-old. And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "What'd he tell you?" He goes, "Devin came up to me and said, 'Lowell, you have to slow down to." And he's like, "Makes a lot of sense." He goes, "I think I'm gonna do that." So he flew the foamies for a while, on and off, and messed around with we had a couple of those little kiosk helicopters. They're like 3 inches long that they sold in the malls.
Oh yeah.
That we used to chase the cat around with and shit like that. So we messed around with shit like that, and he didn't really mess around with simulator too much, a little bit. And then after that one helis over Delaware when he started flying. I bring helis over Delaware up a lot, don't I?
That's fine. Yeah, that's what we need to make sure we get a hold of Ron and he hears this and tries to bring it back.
I know. So
I will personally drive from Florida to Delaware to appear in that event.
So I was gonna ultimately take that event over and keep it going, but the club members there were so difficult that I started South Jersey instead.
Yeah, that's because I remember. I didn't know exactly who, but Ron came to me and he asked me if I'd want to do anything to keep it over because I was like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from there. And he's like, "Hey, I don't know if you're any interested." He goes, there was somebody else I talked to about it. He goes, they don't want to do it. And so it might have been you that he talked to.
Yep.
And he was asking me, and I'm like, I'm that's too far away. I was like, I don't know the club members. I don't feel comfortable with that. I can't do it right. And if I can't do it right, I don't want to do it. I don't think I'd be able to do it as good as what he did. And I mean, it'd be hard because he ran a really great event.
We started South Jersey Heli Group.
Yeah.
On Facebook. It's not a club, it's a Facebook. And we actually had the field sanctioned as an AMA field without a club. And we started doing the events there. The Heli's Gone Wild. And ultimately,
that's at Allen Airstrip,
kind of
right?
transition. What's that?
Is that the one at Allen Airstrip?
At Allen Airstrip, yep.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Then, and we were going to eventually transition it over, like somehow incorporate helis over Delaware into that. And at the time when we took over, we were hitting almost 100 pilots, and I was like, we kind of got enough. That's about all the place can handle,
Yeah.
And then this year we're not doing anything over there because you have to have that FRIA at the field, and in order to do that, I got to make it a club with officers. I got to apply. I got to do all kinds of shit with the FAA, and I'm just like, you know what? Ocean Township has already got it. I'm just going to do everything there.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you, because I heard when I was down there that they said like the Heli's Gone Wild is probably going to be at that event, at that club now.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I
Yep.
heard some different things as to why. I just wasn't 100% sure. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the problem with it is if we don't have the FRIA and it's not a club there, I gotta put a NOTAM up with the FAA, and everybody's got to have a transponder.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm just
Wow.
like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
I was
So
like, nope,
when
not
is that
happening.
Heli's Gone Wild then? Is that like September, October, or something later in the year?
Yeah, I was just talking with Dave the other day about it. We're probably going to do Heli X is Memorial Day weekend, so I'm thinking probably a week or two after that.
Okay.
Let everybody recover from crashing their shit in Heli X and the long drive, and then we'll have a South Jersey.
Yeah, because I'll probably, if you're doing that again, the drive wasn't too bad to get to that field for me.
Yep.
I won't be able to do the whole event, but maybe I can pull off like a Saturday night, or maybe if I can get done.
Yeah, that's cool.
Get there
That'd be
again, at
cool.
least to hang out for a few hours, whatever. Because
Yeah.
even just that
And
was
we're
fun. It was
talking,
definitely worth the drive.
We're talking about just doing a club fun fly in July, like second maybe third weekend in July. No landing fee. Just come on down. We're gonna fly. Maybe we'll do a 50-50 and cook some lunch or something. Just an informal get together that don't cost no money.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Nice.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, post it up, Facebook, let us know, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I got all kinds of fireworks coming up over the next 3 weeks. So once I get past that, we'll put something up, get that all done.
Because that's you do a lot of fireworks stuff.
Yeah, I work part time for Serpico Pyrotechnics.
Nice.
So I have a blaster's license. So I do a lot of the electronic firing for them.
So would it just be easier to ask you what you don't do?
Oh my God!
Since you do a little bit of everything, it would just be easier to say,
Yeah, probably. I mean, I haven't dabbled in any brain surgery yet. But
I was going to say, like, you don't dance ballet or anything, or
yeah. I got a pilot's license. Did all that many years ago.
That's right. I forgot you're a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a man of many
Rudder
talents, Rob.
Rudder
You're
Rob.
a busy guy.
That's where Rudder Rob came from, because
Yeah.
every time I flew, it was blowing 90 degrees to the runway, and everybody be like, "I'm not flying today." I'm like, "I'll go." I'm like, "I don't care. I'll go." So
That's
crazy.
funny. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff we find out, huh?
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of shit,
Yeah.
So
I'm glad. I'm definitely glad we had you on tonight. I learned a lot.
you start thinking about it, it's like, holy crap, I did all that? It's crazy.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
kind
you're
of neat to
truly
hear
one of
all
the
that.
OGs in the hobby.
Yeah, old guy is right.
Well, it's
Not an
funny.
OG, not old guy, not old guy. OG.
Yeah, OG is old guy.
Well, yeah. But I meant in the nice way.
I know, in a nice way. Yeah, I know.
With
It's
love.
cool. It's okay, Like
You're
I said,
an original gangster, not an old
like
guy.
I said, everybody's benefiting now from everything that I fucked up over the years.
Yeah, because I mean, you're
Oh,
only a
man.
couple years older than me. I'm only 51.
Yeah.
Although I feel like
Yeah.
I'm
Hey.
about 151 some days, but
When we were building blades, I was flying TSKs at the time, and we were bringing them in from Japan, and they happened to be in the same building as Align. So we're getting Align parts, we're getting TSK stuff and everything. And one of the first ones I built with my buddy who doesn't fly anymore. He's long time gone. And first flight, get it up into a hover and just sitting there hovering, and it's nice and smooth. Engine's running good. I'm like, this is great. And all of a sudden, it blows up like there was a stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell did what did I screw up? Because right away, nowadays everybody's like, wow, that heli's a piece of shit because that happened. But, our thought was, what did I screw up? Because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. I should have epoxied the blade grip on. I didn't know it. I CA'd the blade grip on, and they were wooden blades that you had to build. So it separated. And when it separated, when I tell you it went off like a piece of dynamite, there wasn't a piece bigger than a quarter left from that helicopter.
I believe that.
There was
Wow.
shit everywhere. And you got to remember, we weren't running high head speed. Maybe we were running 12, maybe 1500 at the most, and that was just didn't know and said, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it was,
wicked when you hear them blow up like that.
oh man, I didn't. And, there was shit everywhere, Bob. Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't find the battery. We couldn't find servos. We're like, what the fuck did I just do?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what year it was at IRCHA. It was like 20. I don't remember if you were there yet or not. Maybe 16, something like that. And what was his name? Kevin flew the SAB. Kevin, like he was
Oh
Canadian.
my God, yeah.
I haven't seen
Kevin
much of him
St.
for a while. Kevin St. Cyr. And
Oh, okay, yeah.
the big thing was overspeeds. Everybody wanted to do overspeeds.
Oh, is that when he cut his heli in two?
It didn't cut it in two. It
was
fucking
exploding.
blew up.
Did it explode? Did it
Yes,
explode?
he's
Yeah.
coming
Okay.
down, and you hear the head speed go, and all of a sudden you just heard a shotgun go off, and shit went flying everywhere. He was out pretty far in front of the flight line. One of the blades shot all the way back towards the canopies. They were looking around. The debris field was just everywhere. There was just shit everywhere. So they had about 20 guys out for quite a while just picking up pieces, like of trying to find all the parts and pieces from the helicopter. And it looked like when they found the one blade, it looked like the bolt just ripped right out, because it just couldn't handle the force being put on it from that high of an overspeed. And it just ripped right through the bolt, ripped out the blade. And as soon as it went at that high of a head speed and being out of balance, it just blew the thing up.
Boom. Yep.
And it was the most wicked sound I had ever heard. And they just spent forever trying to pick up parts and pieces.
Devin was working
over
in Germany 2 years ago, and he went to Global 3D. He took an extra week, and he went to Global, and then I met him over for Rob Bingham's event over in the UK. And when he was at Global, he had the Flash with him. And they put, I had taken it apart. I took the head off, the landing gear, and the tail off, the whole tail boom off, packed it. And then they put it together when they got there. And he calls me up. He goes, "Oh, I'm having problems putting this together." I said, "Dude, it's like 10 minutes to assemble. All you got to do is put a couple things together and go fly." So it turns out that there were 4 guys working on it. They left something loose on the tail, and the boom moved in, and he lost the tail. Okay. And the thing went ripping over the crowd. Okay. And he flew it back pirouetting. Okay. And then autoed it down. Okay. And Duncan Bozione comes over to him. He goes, "Devin." He goes, "Oh, that was a very nice auto." It's he's like, yeah. So then they fix it. They tension the belt. He goes up and does a flight, and he wasn't competing. He was just, flying for fun. And he came down and he did one of his big time overspeed autos, and the fucking thing blew up, man.
Wow.
There was not. I got over to the UK, and he pulled it out of the box, and I was like, "What the hell did you do to it?" Oh man, it's like there was not a piece left that I think I could even use on a heli. So it was crazy. So we took all that gear out and we put it in Adam Plumber's what did we put it? We put it in his HF, and he flew that HF all weekend. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. We're
running a little longer here than we normally do. So I think
you got to go to work.
Yeah, Aaron does. I don't.
Yep.
I get to.
That's all good.
I'm going to go watch some YouTube videos and relax a little bit before I got to go to bed.
That's cool.
But he gets to go to work.
Aaron's going to Tokyo drift into work.
Yeah, my car is not loved at work, to say the least.
That's cool. Well, I had a good time, man. I love talking about this hobby, and
we're definitely going to have you back
on
again as a part 2, because you're just a wealth of knowledge from a little bit of everything. So I think it would definitely be fun to have you back on again and get a little deeper and hear more stories and all the kind of good stuff that we don't normally get to hear.
That's cool. Well, hey, if you guys can do this, have some of the people listening out there post up some shit that they want to hear. So maybe
we definitely will. I'm getting feedback from people, and different stuff, and like I said, I got a couple other guests working on, and I think we're going to keep growing it. It's growing slowly, but we're definitely having some fun with it. I think it's going pretty good.
That's what the hobby's all about, having fun.
And that's kind of what we're trying to keep it that way, just all about fun. Just makes it tough sometimes to work with work schedules and when you getting everybody together, but we're making it happen.
We'll always make it work.
We'd like to do more episodes, but is what it is. But we're definitely going to have you back again, Rob. So thank you for being here.
No problem.
Also, a really big thank you
to
John for stepping in and being a third for us tonight, giving us some enlightening moments here. We appreciate that as well. You there, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were there. Are you going to sleep on us?
No, I'm not going to sleep.
You don't sound like such a mad panda. You sound okay. You sound like just
He either sounds
mildly,
tired or stoned.
mildly
I'm a tired
agitated or
panda
tired
right now.
panda.
Yeah.
Oh, we're wrapping
Come on.
up. Then you'll be able to go to bed. You'll be able to get your little whoopee and get tucked in and put your onesie pajamas on and be good to go.
How do you know my nighttime routine?
Hey, you told it to me one time, remember?
Oh, I did?
Man.
Yeah, you were
Okay.
sending me a video how you do it and what you do.
I speak too much.
Oh, I don't want to see the video of what he does before bed. Oh,
Now stop.
Oh.
That was a different
I'll
video.
pass on that one too.
He keeps that to his OnlyFans.
All right. I'm tapping out.
All right, we're wrapping up here. Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
John, talk to you soon.
We appreciate everybody being here, and thank you guys for listening. As always, go on our Facebook. Let us any comments, any information you'd like, and we'll put it on there. Find us at Full Package RC. Any questions, let us know. You can hit me up, Aaron, Mike Sobey. You can find any of us on Facebook as well, and let us know any questions, concerns, or anything you want to see on here. Anything you want to add, Aaron?
no, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for continuing to help us grow, and thank you for the great guests. Rob, John jumping in. We've got to talk to some really great people, and this has been an absolute blast. So thank you to everyone who's kind of helped us grow and been a part of it.
Yep, RC community is definitely one of the coolest, whether it be for anything. Yes, we're a little geared heavily right now towards the heli community, but we're going to be branching out. We promise we'll get into some more car stuff and some other things that'll be coming soon. So once again, I know we've said it a lot, but thank you guys for listening, and look forward to some more. So you guys have a great night. Get out there, fly, and be safe. Thanks.
Cool, man. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.